Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about a stock that I'm very confident in. I think that it's going to rise a lot in the very near future, and I think that right now is a great time to get into it. So if you do enjoy this video, be sure to smash the like button. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the stock that we are talking about today is ticker symbol BROS. This is Bros, Dutch Bros. This is a stock that's had quite the run. Not insane. 24% year to date. There's stocks that are up more, but then you see the past year, the past 5 years. I mean, this is a pretty good stock. You see they dropped down to 23, then went all the way up to 81. We see they have a 52-week high of 86, a 52-week low of 30. This is a volatile stock. This is one that moves a lot. Basically, what Dutch Bros is, if you've never heard of it, is they engage in operating and franchising drive-through shops that focus on handcrafted beverages. It operates through the company-operated shops and franchising and other segments. The company-operated shop segment consists of coffee shop sales to customers. And yeah, so basically this is like a Starbucks almost, but it is smaller. It is a little hut almost that you drive through. I don't know if you guys have seen it out and about. They're very popular. I've never seen one without a line of at least 3 cars. And yeah, that's why we're saying that this stock is a buy. We see they crushed earnings recently, and there honestly hasn't been a quarter where they haven't crushed earnings recently. And I think they're a lot better than Starbucks for a lot of reasons, and we'll go over that starting right now. So we see the stock price. It's not expensive compared to where it was. That they did drop a little bit. You could have picked it up for that. It was a little bit cheaper, but I mean 65. I can't complain getting in there 65. I wanted to take a look at their balance sheet. So if we look at their revenues from quarter over quarter, this is quarter two in 2024, and then in 2025. And then you see, from both quarters in 2024 and 2025, their revenue has increased a lot year over year. So, we've seen that from quarter over quarter, the revenue has increased about, $90,000. So the revenue increase of $90,000, and then we have costs and expenses increase of only $60,000. That's pretty good. If you're in, and the margins for this is pretty insane. For definitely a food and beverage company, the margins for this company are really good. We see that. Look at the balance sheet right here. We also have a lot of or not a lot of expenses actually. If we look right here, there's not many expenses at all. They're actually dropping, and yeah, it's very good on the balance sheet end. But then what I wanted to look at was the investor slideshow. So Dutch Bros, great company to say the least. This is a very accurate representation of what their drive-thrus look like. You have 2 lines in this little location that actually doesn't have an interior for people to come inside. So the lease that they're paying on these places is fairly low. Because all it is in there is just it's pretty much as big as a food truck, honestly. If you've ever seen one, it's a little bit bigger, but it's about the size of a food truck, and all there is just a bunch of coffee equipment and maybe like 3 through 6 people working there, 2 people running the drive-through, 1 person running the drive-through, and then there's a lot of people making the coffee because there's so many orders coming in. There's a decent amount of people. So we have, look at their shops. This is another big thing. We'll get more into this later. But the room for expansion and what they're doing is very good. So look at how many company-operated shops opened up and how many franchised shops opened up. So we have, over 100 company shops opened up and only 18 franchised. So getting franchise shops is still good. That's still good, but they're not getting as much of the revenue. And to be honest, I looked into franchising at Dutch Bros because if that was a possibility, I would, but they're not letting people franchise Dutch Bros anymore, which is interesting. So they're doing so well that they're saying, we don't want to let anyone else in on this. We have the brand name. We can just do it ourselves at this point, which is great for the company. Could be better for me, for you, if you want to franchise one, but they're actually only letting you franchise a Dutch Bros if you work with them, if you've shown that you're a great employee. So if you work there for a long time, I guess you save up all your money, and then you could have the chance to franchise a Dutch Bros, I've seen. But besides that, if you're just a regular person not working at Dutch Bros, you can't, which kind of sucks. But we see it's great growth of shops that are opening up. I really like to see that. And then the revenue growth, also amazing. Can't complain there. Company operated shop contribution margin, we see that too. Its margins are growing while revenues are increasing by almost 30%. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that as a company. And then we have their same shop sales. We have company operated same shop sales. So the company operated shop results are the one that we're more interested in because that's the one that Dutch Bros owns, the larger segment, the much larger segment. But I mean, look at the revenue. It's up, 85 million quarter over or year over year in the second quarter. So this is up a lot. We see on beverage, food, and packaging. Labor costs are up, but I mean that's because there's more people working for them. Pre-opening costs are actually down. Insane. They're opening more Dutch Bros. So how does that work? You know what I mean? And then depreciation is up a little bit. I mean, obviously, if you have more locations. And then we have shop gross profit also up. Great to see. I mean, and then this is what I really wanted to see. So the outlook. So the total system new shop openings for 2025, they're wanting to open at least 160 more Dutch Bros. At least 160 more. That's a lot of Dutch Bros. That's a lot more revenue for this company. I mean, each location makes what? Pretty good amount of money. And then if it's not franchised, if it's owned by Dutch Bros, it's a lot more revenue coming to them. And with the margins they have, it's looking pretty good. We see revenue between 1.59 to 1.6 billion. They just crushed on revenue, so this could even be more. I mean, let's look at what they had this second quarter here, because this is for the end of 2025. Or what did they report here? Or they already have pretty much half of that, so they're on track. They are on track for total revenues. They have 770,000. They're about on track for that. And then, I mean, they have very good, look at their leverage, their total revenues, quarter over quarter, increasing, and then increasing. They haven't gone down with revenue quarter over quarter. They went down once, I mean, a teeny bit right here in 2023. But besides that, they've pretty much been, just on a straight upward trajectory. And you see quarter one to quarter two, huge jump for Dutch Bros, revenue-wise. So the way that they're opening all these shops, I very much do believe in them. Their income statement also looks great. You see how well that, revenue is increasing, how well that income is increasing. And then we see the expenses are increasing slower than the revenue. So that's great to see as well. Different segments here. We have, different things to look at. We also have the metrics. And I mean, there's a lot on this investor slideshow that, I think a lot of it is important. But I think the most important stuff is, their outlook and what's going on. So the main reason that I'm investing in Dutch Bros, if you guys stayed till now, I hope that you see this. The main reason I'm investing in Dutch Bros is because you see how great this company is. You see how much money they make, how cheap it is to open one up, how, their ROI is insane on one of these locations. Look at this map. Look at all the Dutch Bros locations and tell me what you see. What do you see? Comment down below what you see before I say it. The East Coast is wide open. There's no Dutch Bros on the East Coast. So I look at this and I think, okay, Dutch Bros has a name for themselves. They're doing great things. They're making a lot of money. And they're all over the West Coast. They're all over the West Coast. They have a good amount of Dutch Bros in Texas. But they're missing on the East Coast. They don't have anything. They don't have anything on the East Coast. So that's, a whole other market and room for expansion. I mean, look at this map a little bit closer. So the red dots mean that there's 5 or more Dutch Bros in that location alone. So we have a few red dots here. We see there's a red dot right here, right here. There's a lot in Oregon, actually. A lot of Dutch Bros in Oregon, surprisingly. But I mean, look at all of these, wide open spots. There's all of these states that don't have Dutch Bros yet that are just going to be, instant money makers for Dutch Bros. They already have the brand name, even if you're not, even if you live here, you've probably heard of Dutch Bros just because of how popular it is. And if you haven't, you're probably going to hear about it soon. But they're adding 160 locations this year, and they have 1,000 already, so it's almost 20% location year-over-year growth. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't invest in this company. No other drink company has margins like this. Starbucks margins aren't even close to this with how much they have to pay for lease, the cost of opening. Even the cost of just running, because they're, honestly, to be quite frank, they're not as popular as Dutch Bros, and they have to pay more, and they have, they take up more space. They have to, their expenses are a lot more, and they're not as popular, so that doesn't really help with your margins. So that's why I think Dutch Bros is a much better buy than Starbucks at this point in time. And the thing about Dutch Bros too is they're only in the U.S. They're not even international yet. So the Dutch Bros really is in the early parts of their company. There's a lot of things that they can do that are going to make them a lot more money in the future, and I think investing in them now is definitely the move. There's no reason not to. I mean, there's a lot of things that they can do to better position themselves for the future, and I think they're doing all of those things perfectly. I mean, the way Dutch Bros is, allocating their money, opening these new locations, they're kind of, they're only allowing now their own company to franchise unless you're an employee that's, high up, which I'd guess it's pretty hard to franchise your own Dutch Bros at this point. They know what they're doing. I mean, it's obvious, and I think this is a great opportunity to invest in Dutch Bros. None on the East Coast. There's so much room for that. I mean, look at how many are in Oregon. You can put the same amount in Oregon. You can throw those. I mean, imagine in New York City. You could probably put 10, 20 Dutch Bros in New York just alone, and they'd probably all thrive over there. So I think it's hard not to get into Dutch Bros at this price because it's not even, I mean, their PE ratio is high, but it's high for a reason. I mean, this company is deserving of it, to say the least, but it's not even that expensive. I mean, it truly isn't. I mean, it was cheaper, but this was, in early 2025, the whole market was dropping. So I think that, and right here, the market wasn't dropping, but Dutch Bros was, you see it was $56, very cheap. And then it rose on earnings, hit 70. And now it's kind of dropped back down. It's at that, $65 range. I think now's the time to get in. Dutch Bros looks very appealing. I think that, even, contracts on this, buy some calls on Dutch Bros. I believe in that as well. I think that there's a lot of things Dutch Bros is going to do in the future, and they're going to be a lot more expensive pretty soon here. So I would try to get in on them while they're, under $100, honestly. I don't think it's going to last for much longer. I think that people are going to see the potential if they don't already. A good amount of buy ratings, 19 for a company like this. And Dutch Bros, they're popular, but I mean, if we look over here, we can see that their volume is, average volume is 5 million. That's pretty good. It's decent. But yeah, I mean, I really do believe in Dutch Bros. I think you should pick up a few shares, just because if you don't have a lot of, restaurant or retail or, food and beverage in your portfolio, I think that, this is great to diversify, get, a little bit of that in there. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you for watching. Be sure to smash the like button. It helps me out immensely. And also subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content and want to see more. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.